Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Hi, lovelies. I hope you guys are well. My name is Cassandra. This is Divine Excellence. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if this is the first time you are visiting here. Big up to my 88 subscribers, and all of those good things, because we're going to grow. We're growing. We're flowing. Consistency is key, and I have the keys to consistency, baby. Okay, so let's get into it. I seen this post on Instagram and it was speaking about grieving friendships, the way we grieve relationships, and we don't talk about it. We don't talk about how we actually grieve our friendships. We just think, oh, it's done, we get over it, we don't business, we don't care, we keep it moving. And when it comes to relationships, we're in our feelings, we're in our ice cream, we're in on binging Netflix series, we're in our pajamas and all those things, and we don't want to even see life because life doesn't look like it's even going to continue on. Do you get it? But, however, in friendships and the loss of friendships, whether you've moved on, you've had an argument, yeah, so whether you've moved on from your friendship, you've had an argument, or what have you, there's some reason why there's a loss of friendship. And people just think that they just get on with their life. They don't think about nothing. They don't care. And that's what it is. But no, there's time, especially if you've had a long-standing friendship and it just comes to a bitter end, or just an end and you don't know why. There is a grieving process there. It probably doesn't look the same as a relationship one, because obviously when you're in a relationship, you're more intimate. They know you in different ways. They evoke different emotions in you and all of these things. But there is still a loss and grieving process, and those times where you were reflecting on memories and all those good things, and you probably would sometimes want that friend back around, depending on what type of friendship you had and how you were around that friend. And it made me think about some of my friendships that I've had in the past that have ended for whatever reason, or for reasons I'm aware of. And friendships where I wish I was the better person in that friendship, because I would love to still be in friendship with those people. Maybe that's me just thinking on the memories we have. I could meet them now and they could be different people. I could be like, bruh, who are you? Do you know what I mean? Who knows? I don't know. But it made me think about some of those things, and some friendships where I wish I was the better person. But I also have made peace with that. I've made peace with any mistakes that I've made. I've made peace with the fact that that friendship no longer is existent, and I cherish what was, and we keep it moving. Do you know what I mean? But there's also friendships where I have to wonder, like, not just from my own personal experience, but when people feel like we don't even check for each other, like, that's nothing to mourn, because sometimes people are in friendships out of bondage. They're in friendships out of bondage. You've bonded over some traumatic experience, or you've bonded over the fact that fill in the blank. It's not my business to say why people make friendships, but sometimes your friendships are not making you grow. They're actually limiting you. They're stagnant. Or you're friends with people because it's familiar, and they kind of enable you to be insert whatever it is, to be the big-headed person you think you are, to be an idiot, to be a self-loathing, self-centered, whatever. They enable you to do that. Some friendships, right, they challenge you, they evoke you to grow, to reflect on yourself, to hold yourself accountable and be responsible. And don't we need more of friendships like that? And then you've got friendships where, bruh, clearly the third person in that relationship of friendship is jealousy, is envy, and all of these things, and we don't talk about it. But I think some of the important things you need in friendship is the space to be authentic, to be to communicate well with one another, and transparency, and be honest with yourself and the other person, because that's what friendship is based upon, and that's important. And I think a lot of the times that goes unchecked, because people run to other friends to go carry, go bring, come, and just to go and talk about things that ain't nobody's business, and yeah, it's just not healthy. And I think in big 2024, we want healthiness. However, we're talking about some friendships, you've lost them and you do think about that person and you think, oh, how are they? How are they doing? Oh, I remember these times and all of these things. And it might not look the same as when you're grieving a relationship, but all the same, if it's a long-standing friendship or you shared some time, you're gonna think of times that you did have and be like, oh man, you know. Um, and I think for myself, some of the experience I had, to me, it's just about the clarity. So what's going on here? Like, what happened that made you feel like you wanted to check out of this friendship? You know, and why can't you let me know if it was something I was doing or not doing, so I can better improve myself? Are you trying to limit my growth? Because how if I don't get checked, if you can't check me, read me and let me know that, brethren, you ain't it, you think you're this friend but you ain't it, and you just want to go about your business. To me, I'm just like, bruh, well, good riddance. Do you know what I mean? Good riddance, and make God be with you. Because I don't understand that. Like, I genuinely believe that, like, if a friendship, if you respect the friend that you had, or there was love there, or the sense of, you know, whatever it is, have the conversation. And the other hand as well, you may have had some friendships where it's like, I need to get out. You know, when the whole film Get Out, and it's a whole psychological problem, and you need to get out, and you're just thinking and finding and waiting for the time, space, and whatever to get out. You know, life is telling you get out. Your dreams are telling you get out. Your ancestors are like, get out. You need to get out. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, because that ain't a friend, Brethren. It's not. So, yeah. I say all of that to say, sometimes we need to learn to grieve our friendships a bit more than we grieve these relationships that weren't going anywhere. Do you know what I mean? They weren't going on anywhere. We thought they were going somewhere, but they weren't. And we spend so much energy in the grieving process, the loss of it all, because, you know, it's that thing of like, oh my gosh, I don't have that person in my life anymore. But there's some friendships where, you know, that same level of respect or grief, well, I don't know the actual word I'm looking for, but that same level of loss, it measures up. Do you know what I mean? Because there's some friendships, I've had friendships as long as like 20 years, 18 years, and they've come to an end, and it's just like, could this have been resolved with a conversation? Do you know what I mean? Because there's no point of doing the most, chatting the most to other people, but you can't go to that person and speak how you feel. To me, that's weird. It's weird. And why are we entertaining weird? Speak your feelings and be real, because the most that's going to happen is either people's feelings can get hurt, but in the end, it's love, innit? So you just deal with that. You deal with love and stop jumping to conclusion or making your own stories in your head. In your head, mate. When nothing really gossip, you know? Yeah, and then there's some friendships where, like, I cherish them with my heart. You know what I mean? I love them dearly. They're like family to me. They may, well, you are. If you're watching this, you're family, you know? And yeah, and I look forward to friendships that I am going to make, you know, the strangers that I've yet to meet, you know. They say friends are the strangers. Friends are the strangers you just haven't met yet. Or strangers are the friends you just haven't met yet. Something like that. And yeah, so friendship breakups are real. Friendship breakups can have an effect on you emotionally, physically, spiritually. And if you value your friends, let them know. And if there's any friendship that you have and you feel like, yo, this can be resolved with a conversation or whatever it is, sometimes you gotta make that call, you gotta drop that text, you gotta meet up with that person and let them know, like, yo, what is it? And be honest. You know, one thing about me, and I, you know, many friends I may have had, I might say, oh, Cassandra's this, or she's full of herself, or she's this, or whatever it is, fill in the blank, But one thing about me, I'm going to keep it honest, and I'm going to be very real with you. I'm going to let you know how I feel. And sometimes that can be a bit too much for people when they're not operating that same level or system for themselves. But I like to deliver truths. Like, if we're brethrens, like, I need to be able to speak to you about my own personal stuff, our friendship stuff, and life in general, and anything that could be going on with you. I'm not going to be in a space, where it's going to be like, oh, when we're all with each other, we're kiki and ha, and then I go to somebody else and I've got the most to say about you. Do you know what I mean? And they always say, how somebody speaks about another person to you is usually how they're speaking about you to another person. And some kind of friendships I've had, and I've had those experiences, I'm like, mate, if this is it, this is not it. This is not it. And I have probably been a person who has been like that at some point in my growth, in my journey. But I know that it's not best serving. It doesn't serve well. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like when you have a friendship and you cherish that friendship, be honest in the friendship, be transparent, talk about things, talk about whatever could be bothering you in the friendship, because then you can grow. And isn't life about growth? Isn't life about knowing, seeing, evolving, becoming? So don't be out there limiting your growth because you can't be honest and communicate well, and don't limit somebody else's growth and prohibit them from growing and knowing about themselves, because sometimes some people don't have that level of self-awareness to be like, you know what, I'm not even acting right. Some people don't even know, and you could be the person to let them know, and then they can do the work on themselves. Do you know what I mean? You give them the choice. You take away people's choices when you don't inform them on things that they could be doing or not doing. And I think it's important as well. It's very important that we take accountability for ourselves for what we're not doing or we are doing in a friendship, and to show up as that person that we want to see. See the friendships that you want and the people that you want to connect with, show up with those values, evaluate your own core beliefs and all these things. I've had friends or people that I considered friends say some things to me where I'm like, I've had to go away and think, hold on, that don't make sense. If you're my friend, you wouldn't say that. If you're my friend, you wouldn't think so low of me. Why are you friends with me? And in situations like that, I have confided in somebody else. I have gone to other people and said, yo, check this. What does this feel like or sound like? And when they have kind of validated how I'm feeling, I'm like, bruh, that ain't no friend of mine. And in my matureness now, in my 30s, I don't mind cutting the cords. I don't mind getting rid of people that don't align with who I am. Do you know what I mean? There's people that I haven't seen for years, and I could see them, and it's just like we was around each other just the other day. And I value those type of friendships, But what I don't value is when people are like secretly bad mind or jealous or envious or not wishing you well and they're wishing you hell. I don't like people like that, and I think many people don't like people like that. But it's not. No, we all can win. We all can cheer. We all can be of light to one another. My light can shine, your light can shine, and we can just go out there and beam. You know what I mean? Like, that's what's real. But in some friendships, they don't want you to grow. They don't want you to outgrow them. You can do well, but as long as you're not doing better than them. And what is that? What is that? You want high-minded, high-vibrational connections with people. Do you know what I mean? You need honesty, you need transparency, you need to grow, you need to be able to feel like you can grow, and all those things. You need to be able to laugh, cry, and all that. And also, there is friendships where different friendships serve different things. You might have somebody who's like your co-D, like your OG brethren, and they're your soulmate, like they're your kindred spirit in some form capacity. And then you got friendships where you like twin flames or whatever it is, or you just have similar interests and you connect in that way. And you've got some friends where it's just like you're just friends, but we shouldn't just give that title out freely to any and anybody, because it comes with responsibilities. It comes with, there's some guidelines. And I know for myself, if I checked myself earlier on in my friendships as growing up, I would have done better for some of them, most definitely. And I know for a fact that me and those people would still be friends. And so for other people, may God be with you, because clearly it wasn't a connection to have. And I don't feel no misery in that, because I've made peace with that. And I think it's important that we learn to be the person that you want to see in other people. Like, be that person for yourself, be that person for other people, you know what I mean? Show up. But what we're not going to do is accommodate, or, you know, just deal with things that are just not high vibrational, that are not top tier. You know, as we get older, as definitely as I mature, I think about it, and I think about, yo, is this a top tier relationship? Is this giving? Is it giving? Is it serving me? Is it making me feel good about myself? And I have to question that, you know. And am I making that person feel good about themselves? Am I giving what needs to be given to that person? Am I serving their needs, as if this is a friendship that I value? And, you know, and all of these things. Unless you got friendships, you got acquaintances, and you got people, you know. And I think we have to be very clear on that, and not to just give everybody that friendship title, just dashing it around, just like say it's water. And even then, in some places, water is very scarce. So we have to be very mindful of what we're choosing to do. And I will end on this. We can mourn relationships that we had in a different capacity, and probably we give more value to that, is because that person had, not say value, I don't want to say that, I wouldn't say value, but we've been friends with somebody, been in a relationship with somebody, it ends, and it's just like a piece of you is left. But I feel like that happens because you are intimate with that person. They get to know you on a whole different kind of, like a soul level, like a sexual level, and all these things. And that energy exchange takes time to part away, it takes time to clear up, to cleanse. So I think it makes sense when you are mourning and you feel like you've lost, because you feel like you've loved in a very deep and intimate way. And some of the relations that I've had and relationships that I had, you know, I thought I would never get over them. I'd be like, oh my God. No, you know, I'm dramatic, but like, genuinely, I felt like I can't live without that person, and who am I gonna be now? And that we used to do all these things together, and now we don't even talk. And if I was to see them on the road, I would just walk past them, knowing that this person has known parts of me that you haven't. Well, I'll be there, you know. But you have to make peace with that, because you've got to say the journey continues, life goes on. Do you know what I mean? You've got to keep it moving. Otherwise, you will stay stagnant in life because of what feels familiar, instead of going towards the unknown and knowing that the Most High has got more blessings, more people for you to connect with, more life for you to experience, more memories for you to make. Do you get it? So yeah, man, stay divine, stay blissful, and remember to let love guide you always and forever. And until next time, peace.